And welcome back to part 5 of what if Naruto went back in time with his memories. I didn't get this out yesterday. They just kind of got ahead of me. But I've got the entire week off. I'm on vacation, so these things are getting out on time, plus some extra videos I got planned throughout the week. But last time on the Naruto What If, Naruto and his team were squaring off in the Forest of Death with Orochimaru. Well, Naruto was squaring off with Orochimaru. Sasuke and Sakura were already completely floored by like his killing intent. Naruto at this point is like, that's adorable. So Naruto begged them to get the hell out of there, which they did because they're terrified at the moment. Naruto was squaring off against Orochimaru in full on sage one-tailed sage mode, let's call it, because he can only use the one tail of the Fox's chakra at this point. And he's got Sage Mode activated. And Orochimaru is very, very interested in this. And so we meet up with them. Orochimaru and Orochimaru pulls out his sword because he's very aware that even though he's probably stronger than Naruto right now, and let's be honest, it might be a little debate. Just one-tailed Naruto with the Fox Chakra, Orochimaru was definitely stronger than. Guaranteed stronger than. He could go toe-to-toe with the four-tailed form, for God's sake. Though Naruto was kind of winning that fight. Still, he could go toe-to-toe with it. It's arguable he could beat it. He could definitely beat the three-tailed Fox Chakra form, though. That was it. So, yeah, there's no doubt he could beat the one-tail. But combined Sage Mode, which Sage Mode on its own, Orochimaru doesn't regularly fight against Sage Mode users. At least nothing that we know of. So, he definitely would be a bit more wary of the Sage Mode. Then you combine it with the Fox Chakra, and Orochimaru definitely is like, I could probably beat him, but I'm not taking the chance. And he's also kind of like, marveling at Naruto. You are truly a wonder, Naruto. The Fox Chakra melding perfectly with Sage Mode, a perfect Sage Mode at that. You are truly magnificent. Perhaps after I'm done with Sasuke, I'll come back and give you a little gift. Unfortunately, and he just gets his sword ready, I don't have much time to play with you. And Naruto just goes like, funny, I was thinking the same thing. And he just kind of rushes in. Now, Naruto, admittedly, this is where the tunnel vision kind of kicks in for Naruto. He's aware Orochimaru played a very pivotal point in the war. He did. He is. But he's also thinking, okay, maybe we can prevent the war entirely. Maybe I can get to Obito, stop Zetsu, stop Kaguya, stop Madara, stop all this. So, and he's not necessarily trying to straight out kill Orochimaru, though if he lucks out in doing it, he's not going to complain per se. But because he's kind of getting tunnel vision on keeping Orochimaru away from Sasuke here, that could have serious ramifications if he does succeed in killing Orochimaru. But anyway, Naruto comes in, Orochimaru comes swinging with the sword. Naruto, however, blocks with his Fox Cloak and Nature Chakra, comes in, shoots a claw of chakra at Orochimaru, who dodges, but then gets the backlash of the Nature's Chakra. He goes flying to the striking Shadow Snake that just bites the chakra, just burns away. I see. Fire style, Dragon Flame, or, I'm going to make one up here. Serpent Flame Jutsu. Basically, think the giant snake from, Fire Snake from Order of Phoenix that Voldemort threw out. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And he coming after Naruto. Naruto's got both the Fox and the Nature's Chakra, but he's still going to feel the heat. But he makes a couple clones, burst through it, and uses Tornado Fist, combining it with the fire style, and basically fire style, collaborating on fire style tornado. Just attacks Orochimaru straight out. Orochimaru comes in, uses the grass longsword. It unfortunately would be able to pierce Naruto here, who's not able to readily avoid it. So he does kind of get nicked, just, I got you. And then all of a sudden, Naruto just has the Rasengan in his hand, just a standard one that's gotten bigger with the purple chakra. Just launched it with the clawed hand. With the new hand, just, and Orochimaru almost gets hit. Meanwhile, they're just kind of duking it out. He uses his tail to kind of block, using it almost like a sword on its own. Naruto's just finally like, they're going to be, he can sense the ambush showing up. Orochimaru says too, I don't have time for this. So unfortunately, it's time for you, time to deal with you, Naruto. And then he can sense, again, with the Sage Chakra, the 5-pronged seal in his hand, and he remembers that. He's like, nope, I can't let that happen. Unfortunately, he kind of gets pinned down by some snakes, just burns the snakes away. He's like, got you, a 5-pronged seal. And then just God's like, what? And then Naruto just smiles. God, you're so predictable, and we're not going to fall for that twice. Orochimaru does take note of that that wording, but all of a sudden Naruto pops out as a clone. Because of the Sage Mode, he can only actually activate so many clones at once. I can't remember when he fought Madara and summoned all those mass amounts of clones, if they were all in Sage Mode. I don't think they were all in Sage Mode. I know he was very limited by the amount of clones he could make while balancing Sage Mode, but maybe that got extended. Right now, let's just say he's still limited to like the 3. But one of those clones just poof, and all of a sudden he hears the high-pitched screeching and whistle behind him. And there's Naruto with the Rasenshuriken with the Fox Chakra, so it's going from a green to like a purplish green. And just Rasenshuriken, just launching. How can he throw such dense chakra? And Orochimaru can't get out of the way in time, so his entire left half, including the grass longsword, gets. I don't know if the grass longsword could be destroyed. As far as we know, I don't think it can. At least nothing that we saw destroyed it, but I guess it could in theory. Maybe it literally obliterates the grass longsword. And just he launches himself out of his body, but his body is still feeling like his entire left side is returned to whole, but numb. Like he can barely feel anything. He can barely move. What was that technique? I can barely move my arm, my leg. And then Naruto just kind of, that technique, the Rasengan, no, it was something more involved. What did he? And now he's thinking, like, what did he mean? Wouldn't fall for it again. We've never met before. Naruto, what are you? And because remember, the Rasenshuriken shreds things with piercing little blades of wind on a molecular level, on a cellular level. So even if Orochimaru got out of did the shedding skin technique to heal himself and got his body restored to full, there's a good argument to be made he'd still have some at least temporary but lasting damage. When I mean lasting, I mean it would it would carry over for a little bit. Like it would take some days or weeks for his body to fully recover. And his body just goes numb. Like he could still theoretically use his arm and even use his chakra. It's harder to mold it with that arm. It's even just harder to let I've never dislocated my arm, but if you've ever dislocated your arm, it's kind of hard to just move your arm very much. So if in theory, his range of motion, he could get there, but it's going to take so much time that he'd probably more have to grab his hand and make the hand sign, and then have to mold it, and that's going to be difficult for him. So he's kind of nerfed at the moment. Fortunately, he can use without his hand, so it's not like Naruto completely won the day. He didn't even kill him. And finally, he can hear the Anbu just about shouting, curse you, Naruto, Uzumaki. This isn't over. And he just disappears into the wood. The Anbu see him finally disappear. It's like, damn it, we didn't get here in time. Naruto finally gets out of the fox cloak. The sage mode disappears. He's just, Naruto, Uzumaki, are you all right? He's like, yeah, I'll be okay. Man, that took a lot out of me. I almost had the bastard too. If I had just gotten him a bit more dead center, it would have been. Or if he had just been a little bit more to the right, he would have been dead center in the attack. And they're all hearing this like, wait, did the Fox kid, did a rookie, dead last, actually force Orochimaru back and hurt him? Anyway, so they're asking us, how would you like to proceed? Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna meet up with my teammates, and then we're gonna continue on with the tuning exam. It's like, you're sure about this? Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. You go after him. So you're very well. And then he just takes a moment, uses again Sage Mode, finds where they are, and the Sage Mode disappears just as he's. And at this point, he knows that they saw him with the Fox Chakra and with the Sage Mode, so he shows up, finds them under the tree hiding. I think they're just they finally have calmed down. And it's like, Naruto, you're back. I was like, yeah, sorry about that. Your eyes, yeah. And he's already explained off Sage Mode at this point a little bit. So the Sage Mode isn't a big thing. And eventually it disappears. And it's like, what happened back there? What was that? Uh, it's like, yeah, that guy was bad news. It was apparently, and he does at least explain that apparently that was Orochimaru. And look, Sasuke and Sakura probably studied enough, especially of the history and some of the, influential is what I was trying to go with, influential ninja of the leaf. So they probably do know the Sanin and who they are. So they know the name of Orochimaru, but they also know that he is they also know that he is a missing nin and a rogue nin and a terrible, terrible human being. So they're like, wait, that was Orochimaru, and you won. And Naruto does scratch the back and says like, no, I didn't win. I didn't win exactly. I was able to keep him at bay for a while until the Yambu showed up, but and I don't know if I would have been able to win outright otherwise. And say, what was that, Naruto? And Sasuke is the one who speaks up. What was that, Naruto? You told us about that sage chakra, but what about that red chakra? I've never seen anything like that. You looked almost demonic. And Naruto is now in a tough spot. He knows eventually these guys will find out about the Fox chakra, about the Ninetales. He knows that, and he's just wondering. Look, they're going to keep asking. Maybe it's best I tell them, but not here. And he even says, "Look, it's something that you guys deserve to know. You're my teammates, and I consider you my friends, so you deserve to know it. But right now, I'll make you a deal. Right now is not the right time. We still need to finish the exam. So when we get to the tower, I'll tell you everything. Is deal?" And they're just looking at him, and Sasuke and Sakura are like, "All right, deal." And so they spend the night there. Naruto vaguely remembers just because he was asleep most of the time. But yeah, he's taking their rest. They're standing guard. They set up some traps. And I do think the the sound ninjas attacking still takes place because they were under the idea that Orochimaru was going to go after Sasuke and was going to, put the curse mark on him. And they were tasked with going after him. So ultimately, they don't know that Orochimaru failed in that. By the way, I do think you get the Anko Orochimaru scene probably, and Orochimaru is still probably able to keep Anko at bay. Even with his left side numb and Chakra Heart of the Mold, he could still probably beat Anko without too much difficulty. So the sound ninjas show up. The difference here is that Naruto wakes up as well. It's like, what? Oh yeah, this happened. And where we want Sasuke. Bring us Sasuke. It's like, yeah, what do you want? Wait, he doesn't have the mark. It's like, what? You mean what the Orochimaru was supposed to be putting on me? Is that what that is? Some sort of curse seal? Some sort of curse mark or some sort of mark? I don't know what it was, but I know if it was coming from him, was it going to be anything good? Sorry, dogs. I'm just giving her pets. It's like, but how? Oh, you can thank the idiot. You can thank the idiot over here. Hey, I'm not the one who turned tail and ran. Shut up. By the way, Sasuke didn't have that I am Avenger, and he's remembering Itachi, and he didn't have that like come to Jesus moment, kind of like, no, I'm not going to turn around and run. Granted, I think that portion of Sasuke is still in there, and he still has that ability to overcome. What you do get here is you don't get Sakura kind of having that also, I'm not going to, let's call it come to Jesus moment, where she cuts her hair, like, yeah, I'm not going to be running anymore moment. That being said, Sakura is still more capable in this version than she was in the original. She does have some medical ninjutsu she's been working on, training on, practicing on. Nothing amazing, but she can kind of do some minor first aid, or above minor first aid, let's call it. And she does have a Earth style jutsu under her belt. And so the sound 3 try to take on Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto, and they fail pretty miserably. Granted, Dosa's ability is something that would probably start knocking them out a little bit, but Naruto and Sasuke collaborating together, Gale Pump, Fireball, and then just and then Naruto basically kind of like muscling through it, comes in, just kind of gut checks Dosu. Sasuke does. Zaku and Naruto are having a wind off, basically. So eventually Naruto wins out in that, and Sakura actually can probably take out Keen without too much difficulty. So ultimately they agree, after a quick scuffle, realizing they can't beat these guys outright, at least not as a team. they give up the scroll they have, and they're on their way. So Naruto and Sakura have both the scrolls they need, and they head off to the tower. They get there, they check in, they see that Kiba, Hinata are there, as well as Gaara and their sand team. Naruto says hi, and they eventually are check into their rooms. They all go and get something to eat, and eventually, like in like just a separate room, not their room, but separate room. Sasuke and Sakura do say, like, yeah, hey, so what's the deal? Naruto realizes, like, yeah, that's right, I did it. I promised I'd tell you, right? And Naruto explains the incident of his birth. That when he was born, the nine-tailed fox. They basically said, "Do you know what happened with the nine-tailed fox?" Yeah, the fourth Hokage defeated it and destroyed it, and Naruto kind of chuckled. Yeah, I believe that for the longest time too. But it turns out you can't kill a tailed beast. They're made of, which is not true actually. We find out in Boruto they can die. And Naruto says you can't. They're beings made of pure. They're basically just pure masses of chakra. You can't actually kill them. So what? So the only thing he could do was seal it away somewhere. And he ultimately, he says, the only option he had was a newborn baby whose chakra system was just developing. If you sealed it inside an adult, it would just overwhelm their chakra system. And then they put the pieces together. Sakura has her mouth over her fist, her hands over her mouth. Sasuke, his eyes go a little wide, realizing you're saying, yeah. And he just kind of, and now Naruto, remember, Naruto's mind is that of a 30-some-odd-year-old man who has lived with this all his life. So even though he thinks he's still probably gets sad when he thinks about his childhood, but ultimately led to him finding friends, becoming Hokage, finding a family, all that. So he's probably grateful to some of his struggle. Definitely. But he does get a little bit more that, yeah, it was sealed inside me, and so I'm what's known as a Jinchuriki. Anyone, a human who contains and holds the tail beast within their chakra, or, well, yeah, within their body, but within their chakra. It's like, so, I just want, and he can see the look on their faces. Sakura's actually starting to tear up, realizing everything that he's gone through and everything she's kind of done to him up until this point. Like, now she understood why he just wanted her attention. He was just looking for it. He just wanted someone to acknowledge him and he kind of tells him a little bit about what happened to him. It doesn't tell him everything, but yeah, he was alone. People shunned him, hated him. In a lot of fanfic, there's a lot of like theoretical beatings he got. That's not really, there's not a lot to imply that happened here. It was more that people just hated him. They just did not want him. And Sakura, but I'm still Naruto. I'm still, I just happen to be keeping a fox, a nine-tailed fox, a nine-tailed tail beast at bay. And so after Sakura kind of like clears her eyes, she's actually wraps him big up, and she apologizes to him for not realizing everything. And Naruto does say, like, "Hey, look," and look, and Naruto. Here's the thing. Naruto fully acknowledges that, hey, look, I'm a 30-something-year-old guy. I don't have any, and I met the woman in my dreams, and I married her. But he remembers, he thinks back, he's like, man, if original 12, 13-year-old me had this happen, he would have been over the moon with a bottle of lotion at night. But he's accepting the hug, and it's a friend hug, obviously, and he accepts that very much. And to be fair, even now, whether his relationship with Sasuke and Sakura great back at that point in time, he does like the fact that this version of Sakura is now clearly a lot more understanding and more of a friend to him. And he really does appreciate that. And she apologized. I'm so sorry if I had ever known. Hey, look, you didn't know. It's fine. And to be fair, I was kind of annoying. Like I was kind of obnoxious, to be honest. Hey, I can still be acknowledged. And he acknowledges, he probably thinks back in the day too, where he realizes, yeah, I was probably pretty obnoxious. So it's all good. You had no idea knowing. And then Sasuke walks up to him and is like, look, I'm not going to pretend I know everything that happened to you. But, and he thinks back to, how he felt when his family was gone. Naruto didn't even get a chance at that family. And, he just kind of pumps out his fist and is like, you never have to hide anything from us, all right? It's like we're a team, and you're a friend. And Naruto smiles and they do the fist bump. And honestly, knowing you went through that kind of makes me feel a bit closer to you too, given everything that happened. Yeah. To which Naruto acknowledges it doesn't bring up much, but he acknowledges like, I'm not gonna pretend I understand everything you'll go through either. You've gone through either, but it's nice to know. It's always nice to know you're never alone in these things. And they have their fist bump. Meanwhile, a little certain Hyuga has been listening to kind of the whole thing because she was kind of stalking Naruto a little bit. And they weren't in their room. They were in a public place here. Granted, they didn't think anyone was around. And she hears everything, and she's got tears in her eyes, too. She probably has made some assumptions, given the fact she could see Naruto's chakra. Granted, when Naruto's chakra is seen by Hyuga's, the Fox chakra is not usually visible unless he's activating it. Normally, you just see his chakra. But based on how he was treated and everything like that, she probably did make some assumptions. And she wants to make a point of actually going to talk to him when she gets the chance. But more teams come in, and the preliminaries are underway, so that has to wait. And so the preliminaries happen. Sasuke, there's nothing that changes the placings of these matches yet. So all the matches that happen pretty much go down the same in terms of who they fight. Sasuke beats, I believe it was Yori, pretty easily. He can use his Sharingan, all his chakra, so it's pretty easy to beat him. Pardon me. Meanwhile, Sakura and Ino have their fight, and while it does go down pretty similarly, Sakura, I think, does make the I think, believe it or not, this is where Sakura cuts her hair. And I think it's because in the fight, Ino is engaging and she just grabs her hair. And it's like, so what are you going to do now, forehead? And Sakura looks up and she sees Naruto and she sees Sasuke and they're kind of like, come on. It's like, don't call me forehead. And she just cuts her. And Ino's like, what? And then Sakura comes up and just, boom, cracks her with a left hook. Just, and granted, their fight, as Tente put it, they were kind of pulling their punches initially. But here, Sakura got that, like, I hate being called forehead. And just cracked her hard. By the way, that didn't hurt. I didn't actually punch myself. That was just visual effect. So just, and Ino's, oh, you son of a, and Sakura is just ready to go again. And they took it out a bit longer until it's kind of evened out. And Ino's just like, you think you're so special. Ino cuts her hair before it's like, what? You think you're, well, what of it? And then Sakura tries to move and it's like, what? At least she couldn't move. It's not like she couldn't move her hands, but she couldn't move her hands. Like, I've got you now, forehead. And then she's about to, do the mind transfer jutsu. Ninja mind transfer jutsu. Oh, no, that's all right. That's the, I believe it's that or that. Mind transfer jutsu. And Sakura knows something's coming, so she does her only thing she can do. Earth style, mud wall, boom! And Ino, as it happens, as the jutsu is just launched, she's like, what? And then she just hits the wall, and there's nothing there. And Sakura freaks tore the chakra connection apart. Ino has to kind of wander and get back into her body. And just as she gets back into her body, Sakura comes and uppercuts her fucking face. Just boom! And then Ino just kind of on the ground. And Sakura, basically, she's not on her knees, but she's just holding a kunai right there. It's like, and so it's over, Ino. I'm not going to be in your shadow anymore. And Ino's just, and she tries to get up, and Sakura makes sure to, steps on her hand, and so you give up. And it's like, finally, Ino is declared a loser. The winner is Sakura Haruno, and Naruto and Sasuke are cheering. Yeah. Meanwhile, Hinata was probably standing next to Naruto, and they're probably interacting a little bit. She knows this is not the right time to talk about what she heard, but she's at least enjoying his company. And Naruto's giving her some good words of encouragement. Hey, you've got this. Look, and don't do as well as you can, but acknowledge your limitations. But you have to acknowledge your limitations. And Hinata's a little surprised by that statement because Naruto knows what's going to happen, and he's going to try. He wants to try to keep Hinata from getting as effed up as possible. And to which Naruto says, it's important. I mean, yeah, it's important we know our limits so we can surpass them. And Hinata smiles. That sounds a bit more, sounds like Naruto, but sounds like a more matured version of Naruto than she knows. And she's still very much like, he gets the goofy smile. Because that's something Naruto always still carried, was the goofy smile. And she just blushes. And then eventually Kiba versus Naruto happens. And look, we know Naruto's going to win the fight. Kiba comes in, rushes, but Naruto just kind of like action as Kiba tries to like rush in, just like Naruto just gale palms. Just, what? Nope. Sorry, Kiba. All right, fine then. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Clones are rushing in. Kiba and Nakamura immediately go into Fang over Fang. Naruto counters with Tornado Fist. They're getting discombobulated before Naruto comes in and just boom, hits them and knocks them out clean. Everyone's astounded that the dead last is suddenly this strong. And Naruto wasn't even going third of the way all out. Not even close. Not even a quarter. Because you got to factor in Sage Mode, you got to factor in Fox Chakra, you got to factor in Rasengans, plus Rasenshurikens. Naruto's already probably trying to learn another chakra nature at this point with fire. Naruto was not even trying with that. And that leads into Hinata versus Neji. And Naruto actually holds her hand, gives her a reassuring squeeze with her hand, like, you got this, okay? And she's blushing fiercely because he's holding her hand, and she's trying her best not to pass out. It's like, just don't get yourself killed out there, okay? And Hinata just kind of like huffs and just okay. She just kind of goes down, and Neji tries to psych her out, but it tries to psych her out, but she's already got the encouragement of Naruto, who's just like, is like, yeah, and she's just not doing anything. She's not, or not doing anything, sorry. She's not giving in. So not even barely as close. So they get prepared, and the fight commences. And I think because she's got a lot more confidence here, she's doing a little better, and she's actually even able to avoid some of the strikes. But ultimately, she's still going to be on a losing end. She manages maybe to hit him once, and he's actually one strike. Once is lucky, but luck only once is a miracle. But only a miracle happens once a fight. It'd be cool if she got like the Ichigo line. Oh, you said a miracle happens only once. What do you call this? But no, she is on the losing side, and Naruto is looking. He's concerned. He's happy for her, but he's concerned too. And she remembers, know your limitations, and she knows at this point she can't mold her chakra. So she's not going to go into cardiac arrest. She is still coughing up some blood. She is hurt, but she does still. She acknowledges she's about to give up, but she still acknowledges the whole struggle he's going through. You're the one struggling more than me. A referee, and then Neji starts charging, and she's like, I give, and then Naruto is about to go in, but then the Jonins show up. It's like, that's enough. What's it special? The Branch family gets special treatment, huh? And Hinata, fortunately, isn't going to collapse and die here or nearly die. She does it. I get surrender, and it's like, what? It's like, I was about to surrender anyway. I can't beat you, Neji. And she's coughing up some blood. It's like, get a medic in here now. And they're doing an exam, and she's in rough shape, but she's better off. She's not going to be hospitalized per se, at least not for very long. She's not going to have residual issues like she did in the actual tuning exams themselves. I know you're still too much for me. One day I will surpass you, Neji. Believe that, because I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. My ninja way. Believe it. And she's coughing her, and they're getting her to the infirmary. She looks up at Naruto, and Naruto's smiling and beaming with pride. It's like, and then Hinata is just blushing and smiling. And so the rest of the fights go the same. And we're going to end off here. This is where I said something very different happens, because if you notice, we have one extra member for the actual tournament now. Sakura's actually here. And to make sure things got done randomly, Sakura went to pick the number first, which means I had to do a randomized matchup this time around. So the numbers are picked, and the fight ultimately leads into the first fight is Sasuke versus Tamari, Neji versus Dosu, Naruto versus Sakura, Gaara versus Shino, and Shikamaru versus Kankuro. Now, how many of those matches are actually going to happen? And will we go beyond those matches? And I actually think the answer is probably, yeah, we will go beyond those matches, because Orochimaru, while planning with the Sand Village for an invasion, is also still recovering from his fight with Naruto. So he's got to probably have to like linger on as long as he can into that scenario to ensure that the villages or the invasion will go as needed. So that's where we leave on part 5. Join us on part 6 on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. By the way, if you haven't seen the poll for the next Saturday What If, I'm doing something a little different with the Saturday What Ifs now. I'm still going to be focusing primarily on Dragon Ball ones that day, but every other Dragon Ball one, I'm going to, like, the Wednesday What Ifs are always going to, the Monday, it's Wednesday, sorry. The Wednesday What Ifs are always going to be a Naruto-based one, because the Naruto-based ones seem to be among the most popular ones. But Saturday, which is usually reserved for a Dragon Ball one, I'm going to start rotating them every other week with something else, or every other What If. So this coming What If is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Based What If, and it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Lead swap. Taking one of the leads from one of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series and putting them in another Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And right now we're down to Jaden and Yugi. And then the question is just going to be which series we put them in after that. So we're currently siphoning that down. Then I'll go back to a Dragon Ball one, and then I'll do something else. Probably go siphon through the 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Suggestions I did. And then I'll go to a Dragon Ball, siphon to something else, back and forth for long-term What Ifs. That's what we're going to be kind of changing it up a little bit. Plus, I've had that idea for the lead swap for a long time, and I kind of want to just do something different. How I'm going to do it, particularly when it comes to the duels, I have an idea in my head for that. But we'll do it that way for this one, and then we'll see if people like the way it works the other way. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. And I'll see you folks next time.